Hello everyone, DeadNead here, and today we're going to be doing a versus, the very first versus of the channel, and this is of the Alaya-Vijnana system from Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans versus, the Genlock system from Genlock, and yeah, pretty much for this versus, it's just going to be the systems, so it's not going to be the base suits themselves of either or series, nor any of the characters, just the systems. Both the pros and the cons of the systems, and just which is the overall best system. Now, we will take into account the combat that each system has been through with the suits, but it's overall just which is the best system. Because both the Alaya-Vijnana system and the Genlock system are so fucking similar, but also so fucking different. And, yeah. So let's get Genlock out of the way now first, since Genlock is definitely how can I put it nicely? Just, it has way more just not as much story driven into it as IBO does. But, yeah, with the Genlock system now. So the Genlock system. The Genlock system was pretty much, made by fucking David Tennant, the fucker that is played by David Tennant. And what the Genlock system was made to be the next big thing in combat in the lore of Genlock for like mechs and shit. Because at the time, their mechs are pretty much just the standard generic sci-fi mechs, the best I can put it nicely. Like, they were nothing special. And so, the next step was the Genlock system. And what the Genlock system was pretty much going into a process called uptime, where a person in I think it was called like a compod, I can't quite remember, pretty much a uptime bed fucking thing, downloaded their mind into the actual suit. And when downloaded into the suit, it is pretty much being in another body. Literally, you are the robot. That body, the Holon, is your fucking body. Which, at first, especially to very, very untrained pilots and shit with even no experience at all, at first, it's like fucking walking, trying to learn how to walk with that system as a toddler. But then once you get used to it, it's literally just, you are the machine. You are the machine. And that's the very, very great, one of the very great, pros of the Genlock system. But the cons now that come with the Genlock system is there's a certain amount of time you have before you have to quit uptime, because if you go over the uptime limit, then your physical body's fucking dead. It's dead. Your mind is stuck in the Holon. And another very big con to the Genlock system, too, is, you have to be Genlock compatible. With the Genlock compatibility, it's like a 50-50 chance. Like, as we've seen, with, Season 1 of Genlock, because by the way, I'm using my knowledge from Season 1 of Genlock, not Season 2, because I have not seen Season 2 yet, nor will probably ever see Season 2. The very big con now also is, it's a 50-50 chance of if you're able to even be Genlock compatible, because if you have not been pretty much, if we have not checked you to hell and back, clear up your asshole and out your fucking mouth, then you are not Genlock compatible, most likely. Like, as we've seen with the Union Spy in Season 1. Yes, he tried to be Robert Sinclair. He pretended to be Robert Sinclair, who was Genlock compatible, but that spy was not Genlock compatible. Therefore, he pretty much died. So yeah, he Yeah, you want to be Genlock compatible. And yeah, there was also the exception of like in the finale of season 1 where the one what's his fuck guy managed to use what was meant to be Sinclair's haul-on, but even so, he managed to uptime in it, but due to him not being, meant as a actual proper Genlock initiate and all that kind of shit, he pretty much, he became brain dead. And yeah, like them are the cons, the big cons of the Genlock system. But the very, very big pros now to the Genlock system too also is unity. Just like the whole unity shit of like the team, because you take like the base team, they all pretty much manage to, do like, a hive mind kind of fucking bullshit to where it's like, all right, I need you to move left, you move left. I need you to move right, you move right. And it's all in part of like a one big hive mind where it's like they all know what the fuck they're doing. And they all are, when mastered, it's pretty much like dancing in a way. And that's one of the very big, one of the very big pros too of the Genlock system. But moving on to the Alaya-Vijnana system now. The Alaya-Vijnana system from Gundam, right? It was made like to fucking pretty much, because not just with the Gundam frames, also from Gundam, IBO, but just the whole system itself was built to fucking destroy mobile armors. Therefore, it was also a 50-50 chance, similar to Genlock, with the uptime. In Alaya-Vijnana, you had to go through a bunch of fucking surgeries and shit just to have the system pretty much implanted in your spine and shit. Because with the Alaya-Vijnana system, you get in that bitch, you get in the fucking, say, a Gundam, for example, you get in that bitch being an Alaya-Vijnana pilot, an IBO, it connects via, like a fucking tube into your spine area. And once you get in that bitch, it's pretty much, yeah, you're still a physical pilot, but you kind of have like the similar pros to the haul-ons, being that it's as if it's your physical body for the most part. But opposed to the haul-ons now with the Alaya-Vijnana system, you don't got the pretty much unified hive mind bullshit that you would with, like, say, a whole team. And you really, it is not your physical body. You are still physically the pilot, but that's honestly, if you really think about it, one of the very great, upsides to the Alaya-Vijnana system, though, too, compared to the Genlock system is, because of that, with the Alaya-Vijnana system, say Mikazuki, for example, all he would have to do, if really necessary, if needing to leave a fight, would just go get fuel, then go right back to the fight. With the haul-ons, you have to leave the fucking fight, because you could be in a mid-fucking fight with the haul-ons, and you're either gonna let your uptime run out and lose your body, or you're gonna fucking leave your haul-on mid-fight, and 9 out of 10, the haul-on's gonna be fucking destroyed. So, yeah, in a combat scenario, the Alaya-Vijnana system on that part is way fucking better than the Genlock system. And another big flaw now, though, with the fucking Alaya-Vijnana system, too, since they have both similar fucking flaws, is, like the Genlock system, the Alaya-Vijnana system is also, if you put way too much stress on yourself, you could 9 out of 10, because even with like the whole process for the Alaya-Vijnana shit, only 50%, like 50% of 100, 50% of the initiates survived that shit and either died or became pretty much just paralyzed all over their fucking bodies. Now, take Mikazuki, for example, from IBO. When he fought the Hashimal Like, because, again, the Alaya-Vijnana system was built to fight the fucking mobile armor systems. When he fought the Hashmal, there was a bunch of fucking stress on his body just to take down the Hashmal. Because already, just fighting the Grey's Ein put enough stress on him to put the system to its limits, to where he went paralyzed in his right arm. I believe it was his right arm. Well, with Hashmal, he went paralyzed on his whole, I believe, right-ass side of his body. So, the more stress you put on that fucking system to go more all out, the more you're gonna be paralyzed. But the thing is, though, that's only when you're not connected to the Alaya-Vijnana system, because when connected to the Barbatos, though, Mikazuki, though paralyzed when not connected, when he is connected, he is not paralyzed. Therefore, the Alaya-Vijnana system is, in my opinion, still better than the Genlock system because of that. But at the same time, though, with both systems, it's also the argument of pick your poison. Pick your poison. Because, as I said at the beginning, and you also, which for both systems, you gotta take into account, too, the lures. Because the lures are both vastly different. But the systems are both for vastly different, are also vastly the same, too. But, realistically speaking, though, like, if you just dropped both, you know, like, say, because, honestly speaking, just one Barbatos would be enough to fucking curb stomp all of the Genlock team. Because the Holons and Genlock, just as a whole, they were basic mecha. Like, I like Genlock, but they were very basic mecha compared to one Barbatos. But honestly speaking, like I said, if I had to pick, like, the best for, like, just combat as a whole overall, because if we were to drop both systems in our reality, so removing the bounds of fucking their animes and shit, and just dropping them in our real world, I would still have to give it, because for, like, a less of a... I would kind of... Because it's hard, really, to pick which one would be better or worse, honestly, but... Again, it's really just a pick your own poison kind of situation. But if I were to have to pick, like, which is the more safer of the systems, it would definitely be the Genlock system. But which is way more better, though, of a system when it is successful, it is the Alaya-Vijnana system overall, in my opinion. Again, both systems are very similar, but they are both vastly different. And this is just a simple, though, you know, versus video on just, hey. But for Genlock fans, I am going to do a versus video on with the actual Holons on the base Genlock team here soon. And I think it's going to be Gundam related. I think you all might like it. But, yeah. If you like this video, like, comment, sub, all that jazz, and take it easy, folks.